Action. All right, so team, how y'all doing? It's Gene and I here. We're just gonna share with you this idea that we have been working on, just trying to identify new efficiencies and ways to improve the setup and teardown. And so we're on to something really great, and it's gonna be titled the pack planning tool for now. And really, it's a way to rearrange packing methods or identify where things can go and make adjustments where needed, but all in a digital perspective that we can just incorporate when we get hands on the weekend. So it's a really great utility and tool that's been coming together through a combined effort of not only me taking measurements and the team participating there at the school, but really, I mean, at the campuses, but really Eugene and Gene doing using his tools that he uses and his engineering brain to get this going for us. So what we're gonna do is kind of lay out the what the system could look like, and then after that, we're gonna talk about potentially doing it on this coming weekend. So, Gene, can we share with the team now, kind of the how you put this together, what it looks like, and then how we're going to operationalize it and actually use it, like on.
The few weeks that I've been there, observing how they set up and tear down is, especially the tear down, there's where I saw the most, I guess, the most area that we can improve in efficiency. And what I did see was a lot of people doing their part, getting the stuff, put it in a certain location, then it sat there. And it would sit there for an hour because everybody was waiting for Pastor Whiston or somebody else because they're the only ones that knew how to kind of pack it. So those there, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour that I saw that it could be saved. My whole idea was to create a map with kind of instructions on each item that whoever's packing it up knows exactly where it goes to and what orientation it is to be placed, and also color coded. So each section, like the worship, would have one color, the kids rock would have another color, guest experience another color. So you kind of know where things go when you pack it. So you're aware of where things should be, set up, and then when you break down. This is an example of the tool that I'm going to put in each item that we have, either if it's a bin, storage container, uh, those cases, the carts, whatever it is, we have a color coordinated pack like this. And this is a 3D model of the exact dimensions that we have in the sanctuary and of all the equipment. So these basically are square models that identifies how much area it's going to take. Now, when somebody, for example, here's B1. So B1 would be the chair. So my goal is that wherever's section you have, like ushers will have the chairs, this is what they're going to be doing, and they know exactly where to put it. The production team knows the cases they have, and they're going to know where to put it. So when, for example, here, the usher guys would get the stacks. It tells them the chairs will be stacked up. The new one I just printed out will actually tell you how many chairs it goes high, so they know how much to stack it up. So it'd be 20 high, and it tells you B1 goes into the corner with the short width to the back of the wall, and the long width uh, against the wall here. So in each part will have B1, B2, B3, and so forth. So when the usher's done putting it up, it'll tell them where to put it. Same thing with the carts. The carts, they will be mounted in the back of the carts, either by these binding rings. I use a tie wrap, if I can put it that way, or not, it would be a double-sided tape like I have here. I've got this work, it's kind of industrial type. So if this works, great. If not, I'll come up with something else. But each thing will be attached to it. So when they see it, they're packed up, they'll know exactly where it goes. So the B basically stands for building. So it's going to stay in the building. Anything in the trailer, I will have a T. So say T1, T through. So they'll know it goes to the trailer, and they'll tell you, I would have a drawing of the trailer and exactly the orientation and the location where it goes. So each department can just take it to exact location and put it away. Now, these will help the guys on the SWAT set up, tear down, because they can concentrate on tearing things down that nobody else is doing, like the curtains and other stuff like that. And while everybody else is putting their stuff together, instead of leaving it where it's at, they can take it to the location it goes to. And then it's set up and it's done and we're done. So, I'm looking at least an hour minimum to set up. Now, here's an example of two boxes from the productions that are set up. You have B20 and B21. And the thing in B20 instructions tell you that place B21 on top of B20, and then you're going to put it over there next with the long width, 28 inches, the case against B13, which is another case, and the short length, 22 inches against the chairs. So it tells you which direction. So if everybody follows the directions, is which way to put the boxes, the whole thing will fit the way you see it on these pictures because it's exact to the dimension. And then I gave the sizes a little bit bigger to give, for tolerances of little gaps here and there. So that should be good. Now, the reason I do this is because currently right now, everybody depends on either Pastor Winston to do it or somebody else who knows it. And things just get sitting around. My goal is that Pastor Winston or any pastor for any satellite church can concentrate shepherding the people. So they can just do that ministry and not be worrying about breaking up and tearing down, that whole process. So uh, they should be worrying about the spiritual growth of the people there instead of where this thing goes. And if everybody has the mentality for each group and department thinks that this is a team effort as a church, not just a certain group is in charge of this. If everybody works as a team, we can finish this up much quicker. So that's the one thing I notice is a lot of people have a mentality that, well, that's just a SWAT and just walk away and leave it. And then we're going there and trying to put it all together and then we spend an extra basically hour going back and forth putting stuff. So the whole mindset of the people need to change and why we're doing it. What's the reason behind this? It's more to minister to the people instead of working to this, okay, just set up and tear down. So if the people understand the mindset that our pastor's there to minister to people, not be in charge of setting up and breaking down, then I think they can have a better take on this.
Yeah, that's great. I have some questions, and I'm gonna get
Good.
more into ministering too, so that way I don't have to do tear down. All right, so one question. I noticed this one was white, the B, and then one was yellow. Does that signify anything?
But some of these, as you can see here, when they're stacked, I did color so you can see, okay, the color ones go on top. It just
Got it.
identifies so they can tell the difference between two different cases. Now, I
Oh,
did
that's
try
wonderful.
to do the cases based on how we're stacking them currently, what's on top of another, because that's what you can lift. So I try to avoid putting two boxes together, even though they may fit, but they're both very heavy and it's going to be difficult for people to lift it. So
Mhm.
if we find there's other cases that we can stack on another one, then I can rechange it, redo the model, and have more space. But I try to keep it for minimizing how much is going on top due to those cases being very heavy.
We also put these in an order as close as that we could, where the when items are done, we're able to position them fast. So this used to be the stage where we would wait
Correct,
till the end of the day, or to when we finally
correct,
got to that minute. Now chairs are done early; they can put stored immediately,
correct,
and then we just keep following suit. So most of this is done in a manner of when the pieces are ready. They get done
correct,
and we pack them fast, right?
correct. That is correct. And that's why you'll notice the stages on another view. I don't know if you have one.
I'm gonna
I'll
look
have
for
it
it.
here. Another view will show all these the carts. For example, this was part of it. You have another one like this where it has the all the carts here. So behind there are the carts, like the worship production carts that are tall. And usually those are done first, so I'll put those against the wall, and the stage is still being broken down. And then when the stages come, they just line up the stage behind it, and it tells you, you know, when to put it and where to put it. And the screens over here, the small ones, those are the screen cases for the big screen. These are the large banners that we have back there. So me, it's just, I don't know exactly the timing of everything. So I just kind of took an educated guess.
Mm-hmm.
But if you notice everything over here on the left with all the boxes, most of all that is production. So they kind of uh, know more or less the timing of everything. But most of the time they're pretty good as far as it's almost the same time when they all that stuff's coming together. But
Mm-hmm.
even if it's not, they can put it in its location, even though it's far away from the wall, and then everybody else just kind of fits it in a puzzle. So if you need to move something back, you can move it back and then just slide the other one in. Does that make sense? So for example, there B29, that gets done first, then kind of set it in that area over there.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with all the other ones. And then you just kind of start fitting it in as they come in.
Yeah, fantastic. So I was noticing, so on our standard cart sizes, I can tell
Hmm.
these are pretty standard here.
Correct.
8, 9, 10, 11, these all look like standard carts.
Hmm.
What are these items that are 35, 39, 40, 41? They look.
Isn't it that those are the stage cards. So you see those the ones you have
Oh,
there are the old ones. The new
mm-hmm.
ones, for example, let me go here. Here's for example, here's a new one.
Okay.
The new ones like this. Those cards are in the back wall, the first one, and these are the stage cards. So let me see if I can find one. Tells out what it is. There you go. For example, this one here, this is stage card, tells you what it is, and it tells you that it goes in front of the B8 and B9, which is the other cards, with the storage bin B50, which are the ones with the legs in it. It goes on top of the stage card. So you see the card, the pin bin on top, which we do right now. But it'll tell you, okay, there's where it goes. Here's the stage card, and it goes in front of these. So these are the kind of the latest and greatest that I have.
Mm-hmm.
And
Nice.
it just keeps going down, and then I'll do another zoom and it gets more detail over here. But everything's kind of set up. I have an Excel spreadsheet, and I can print that out so people can kind of look at it and get an idea. The description, I just kind of guess on what some of the word.
Yeah.
We can change it. If somebody wants to change the name of it, they know exactly what it's called. I can do that and just slide this in and out. The sheets come in and out, so that's not anything that changes. We just kind of change it, put the new one in, and we're good to go. So now,
Definitely. It,
so
it's.
that other sheet that you saw the one that was kind of purple color. See, that would be a kid's rock. So that one would have
Mm-hmm.
a different one of this with a different color. And that one's going to be yellow. Martha and I decided it's going to be yellow. So anything in yellow, you know, it goes to kids rock. But some might be in the building, some might be in the trailer.
Okay, no, I think this is great. And to your point, we'll get some feedback. We can start to make edits. And then I do think there's a possibility that you can hand off some of these files to the campus pastors, or I can even facilitate getting them printed at the office, you
Okay.
know, and so you don't have to print them at work. We can get them printed over there at the office, or if it comes down to it, we can order them through like a FedEx printing or something. So,
Okay, yeah.
uh,
And then from there you can have them all colored if you want.
what do you think the capacity for somebody who's new to the team to kind of learn this process? I just want to get your general consent thoughts on that, because I think if we train Ruben and we train, even Pastor Winston for his awareness, we'll concentrate on
Hmm.
Midtown for a moment here. This is Midtown. Then he could cross train, or we could offer to cross train the next layer of rock stars that are there consistently. Like I'm
Correct.
thinking of Renee, Hannah, and some of the other, people that are there very consistently, and we can show them the process. Well, do you
Right.
think they could? Do you think this is something that they could learn if we spent some time with them, or do you think it's should be reserved for just like a primary person?
Oh no, no. This should be uh easy for anybody to be able to read it. So once they understand what like the big section is kind of the instructions and the call out, and then you have the number, like what's the card number? So card number is also the card number here. With instructions, anybody should be able to read this and understand it. The whole concept is that anybody, even if it's their first day there, they see this, they read it. Oh, I know what to do and where to put it. The whole, like, it shouldn't be very difficult. It's telling you what direction, which length goes where. Pretty, pretty simple.
Yeah,
So,
pretty straightforward.
that's my whole concept was that you're not depending on just certain people that understand where it goes, is that anybody reads it and say, oh, okay. Somebody new comes in, just tell them, hey, see that thing, the color coordinate, read the instruction, tells you where to put it and what direction. And it should be that simple.
I like it. It's like for lack of a better word, it's dummy proof. Yeah, I love it. So then if I look at this one, the general anatomy of this section, this is the code that we. This is the label, the
Yeah,
identifier of the
correct,
unit.
correct,
So that's B1. Then this is a short description of what it is. It's a chair cart.
correct,
This is a detail about that, and
correct,
then this is information about the location.
correct,
So I'm gonna go to the next one. It's another chair cart. So this is.
right. So
Let me
keep
see.
going in your one. Yeah,
Here's a
here's
different
BA. Go ahead.
identifier, short description, department and or
Mm.
elaboration
Or
on what
description.
it
Right.
does, and then location directions.
Yep. So he plays that one next to the 35, which is the drapes from the Kids Rock, which would be that one. Did you have it?
Yeah, that one up here. The kids rock.
Correct.
Oh man, that is easy. Yep. All we got to do is show them how to, or you could consider labels like ID, and that's what that is, and then descriptor. If you
Correct.
may not just to kind of identify, but seriously, it's very easy to decipher. So thank you for all this work. This is fantastic. I really think the team's going to embrace this, and it's already. I can see the efficiencies gained. I can't wait to see how much, like timing wise. I hope we
Yeah.
can cash in on that whole hour. That's a big one.
Yeah.
But
Me too. Yeah. That's
we'll
my
shoot
goal. I
for it.
can save a whole hour. That's huge.
Yeah, that's
So
excellent. I'm gonna stop recording.